When it comes to forgiveness, a lot of us love to talk about how important it is to forgive others, but we don't ever take the time to acknowledge how it's just as important to forgive ourselves. Throughout life, we're going to make so many various different decisions and choices, sometimes intentionally, sometimes by mistake, sometimes because that's who we had to be in that very moment, and sometimes just because we didn't know better. And so what I feel like we have to start learning to do is giving ourselves the same grace that we consistently give out to others. It's like we understand that we're not perfect and that we have imperfections, but then when it comes to actually criticizing and critiquing ourselves, it's like anything lesser than perfection is unacceptable. And so what I learned is that we have to make space to give ourselves grace. Like we have to give ourselves room for error. We have to give ourselves the space to make mistakes. We have to give ourselves the space to learn from the results and the decisions of our past, because that's where we grow and that's where we learn lessons. And so what I tend to see is that a lot of people are carrying around this baggage of guilt, this baggage of shame, and feeling that they don't even deserve certain things in life. And this baggage is so heavy to the point that when they actually do something good, or they do achieve success or anything like that, they don't even feel that they deserve it, and they're incapable of feeling proud of themselves. And so this baggage just keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us from feeling that we could even go after certain things. It keeps us from feeling that we even belong. And so what I realize is that we have to learn to forgive ourselves in order for us to move forward, because if we don't, then we feel stuck in that guilt. Then we feel stuck in that same spot of not going after certain things, or being scared to even make certain decisions for ourselves. We start to kind of develop this self-doubt. We develop this hesitation. Sometimes we even start considering how our outer world might feel more than what we'll feel for ourselves. And so from my personal decisions, I've made choices that I felt in the moment were what's best for me, and they ended up maybe not being what's best for me, or they ended up getting me a result that I didn't wish to receive. That might be losing a person, that might be losing an opportunity, that might be losing something in life, or affecting something in your life where you kind of have instant regret. And what I realize is that sometimes it's those very decisions and those choices is where you learn those lessons that you literally didn't know before. And so what I realized is that I had to start forgiving myself for knowing now what I didn't know then. It's like I've learned so many various different lessons from certain things I've done. And it's like, damn, if I could just get that opportunity or that moment back, then I could recorrect that choice, because I now know how to handle it better. But it's like I had to go through that very situation in order to even learn the lesson that I know now. And so I have to realize that that's okay. And all I can do is determine how I'm going to move forward, how I'm going to handle that opportunity or that approach if it comes about in my life again. And realizing that that very person or that very opportunity may never come into my life again. And I have to let go of the fact that I messed that situation up in order to allow myself to move forward and actually receive bigger and better things in the future of my life. And sometimes I think we have to take the time to even understand why we made certain decisions in our life. Like sometimes we have to become this person in order to protect ourselves due to a situation that's out of our control. So whether that's just the circumstances around us, whether that's the environment we're in, sometimes we become this person that helps us to protect ourselves, or makes us feel safe, or it makes us have this guard up that we feel we have more control over our lives. And sometimes the decisions we make out of being that person, that could just be a cold-hearted person. That could be a person that is unwilling to trust others. That could be a person who runs away from problems and adversities because that's just what you grew comfortable to doing, or that became your norm. And what I realized is that sometimes in being that person in that moment, due to you being kind of in a survival state, you end up hurting other people as a result of it, who maybe didn't even deserve that hurt, who maybe didn't even deserve the action you did or the decision you made towards them. But it was just like a response out of the person you had become. Or sometimes even when we're just simply doing what's best for us. And I've experienced this myself, and you can kind of relate this to my video on outgrowing people, but sometimes we have to make decisions for ourselves that we feel is best for ourselves. That could be cutting certain people out of our life. That could just be making a hard decision, having a tough conversation, becoming honest with someone, becoming our true authentic self, and accepting whatever result comes with it, whether people disagree or agree with it, and just recognizing that we're doing what's best for us, but also creating the space to forgive ourselves and acknowledge that how other people respond to our choices isn't our responsibility. I feel like a lot of us try and take responsibility for how other people might feel based off the decisions that we make that we feel are what's best for us. Because sometimes what is best for us ends up creating a loss in a different area of our life. But that's not exactly our responsibility, because in the end, we have to value ourselves more than we value others, and you can't satisfy everybody. I think we have to accept that and realize that, and again, forgive ourselves for that. Like, I had to forgive myself for making certain decisions because it was like I questioned if the decision was the right one solely because of how other people reacted to the decision, not even acknowledging whether it brought me peace or whether it brought me happiness or whether it allowed me to go after the things I wanted to go after. And even in those choices or those decisions that we make sometimes, we still have a sense of guilt when maybe we miss out on something. Maybe we're in a season of our life where we're just going completely solo, or where we're kind of just being in solitude and finding happiness with ourselves, or just figuring ourselves out and what we even want for ourselves in this current season of our life, or what we want to pursue after when we do get out of solitude and stuff like that. And so in that season, we might miss out on things, or friends might move on and we may not rekindle our relationship ever again, or we just might miss out on certain opportunities or certain risks that we could have possibly taken. And what I realized is that, like, that is okay. Like, missing out to do what's best for you, missing out to understand yourself, missing out because you understand what you're feeling in life and what this current season of your life holds for you is okay. And it's okay to miss out on those things because the choice that you did make was way more important. And if you truly struggle with this and kind of want to talk to me one-on-one about it, I do highly recommend checking out and joining the school community. That'll be down in the description. But another thing is that we are our biggest enemy. Like, we are our biggest critic for every decision we make. It's like, whether we get a negative result, we form all these various different beliefs about ourselves and what we believe we're capable of. Again, we don't give ourselves room to make mistakes. We don't give ourselves room for failure along the journey of becoming somebody we've never been before. And this goes for any journey. This goes for taking risks, trying to create a business, taking risk in trying to get a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and just like getting rejected, accepting rejection, understand that it's not a reflection of who we are, or it doesn't mean that something's wrong with us. And again, we just have to learn to allow ourselves to not get the results that we maybe wanted, or to fall short of our expectations, because if not, then we'll constantly be judging ourselves and forming these negative beliefs about ourselves and what we deserve, what we're capable of. And it just overall becomes a limitation on what we do in our life, or what we believe we can do in our life. Because at the end of the day, all you can learn is how you're going to move forward. And those exact moments are where you learn the lessons. And those exact moments is where you kind of reflect on yourself and ask yourself the tough questions. Where did I go wrong? What can I do better? Not in a sense of I'm going to beat myself up or something's wrong with me, or I'm going to form this negative self-image, but in the aspect of, hey, I just want to become a better me. I just want to improve from my mistakes. I understand and I acknowledge that I maybe messed up in a situation. I understand that I fell short of my expectation, and it's just like, how can I become better? Because again, it's very easy to just carry around all this guilt, all this shame, constantly feeling bad about ourselves, constantly having this negative self-image, having negative thoughts about how we perceive ourselves. And overall, it's just like creates a sense of suffering. It creates a sense of not wanting to do anything. It creates a sense of constantly wish we could change our past, constantly living in our past, reliving our past, thinking that had we just made this one different decision that we would have got a different result, or our whole life would be different if we didn't make that decision in the past, or just constantly beating ourselves up for not knowing better or not knowing what we know now. Then it's like you acknowledge your imperfection, but you have to now start to accept it. Accept your imperfection, accept your mistakes, accept the times where you lose, accept the times where you fail, accept the times where you maybe hurt others, or you have to hurt other people's feelings in order to do what's best for you. You have to accept that those situations are going to happen in order for you to move forward in life and not have them limit you or make you constantly beat yourself up or make you constantly doubt yourself. Because when you truly learn to do that for yourself, you'll begin to take risks. You'll begin to be okay with certain decisions you make and just live with it and constantly be willing to learn from them. You'll be willing to step into the unknown, even if you might fail, even if you may not have it all figured out. You won't constantly hesitate and doubt and question every decision you're making. It's like you'll gain all this mental clarity to kind of just go about life, understanding the inevitables, understanding the things that you have to accept, because that's when you're able to kind of find peace with yourself. And whatever happens around you, especially the things out of your control, you're just kind of able to find peace with it and just allow yourself to move forward. But chill, learn how to forgive yourself, man. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop taking things so harsh. Understand that you're gonna fuck up real bad at certain points in your life. But like I said, join the school community if you haven't. Self-growth community centered around self-discovery, development, self-control. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from this video. I pray that you got some value away from it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.